Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening, this morning, this afternoon? Good morning to you. You live in a shoe. It's actually 3:38 a.m. and I woke up about a half an hour ago. I was having the most peaceful nap, and then all of a sudden the lights went on. And I looked over and my husband had like turned on the lights in the middle of the night, and I go, "What are you doing?" And he goes, it's time to get up. And I go, "Time to get up for what?" And he goes, "What time is it?" And I said, "It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, Alex." And he goes, "Oh." He had like been having a dream or something and he went back to bed. But I had to take little pee-pee out anyway because he has been having the worst diarrhea today. Little guy has felt so sick. And then because he's had such horrible diarrhea, he's dehydrated, so then he goes and he drinks a lot of water, and then like right after he drinks the water, he like has to pee because that medicine that he's on just, I mean, it makes him have to like pee so much. So the little guy has been going outside probably about every half an hour today until we went to bed tonight. And we had taken him out several times before then, trying to, you know, see if he could maybe get through the night sleeping, but the little guy has not felt well today. And I felt so bad for him. It is rainy outside. It is 36 degrees. It is wet. It is cold. It is nasty. And I have sweat shorts on and this long t-shirt and my Birkenstock sandals because I just wanted to be comfortable while I was vlogging. I got online and I was like looking at trips because we really want to go somewhere over New Year's, but I just don't know that we're going to be able to do it. It's really an expensive time of year to travel. And part of the problem is to get anywhere, the flights are like outrageous. So a lot of these hotels are having, you know, these huge like Black Friday hotel deals where you can upgrade to a nicer room or you can get your stay 50% off. I mean, there's all these different resorts that are doing that. That's not the problem. The problem is, like, to get to these places, you know, whether it's like Mexico or wherever, it's costs like $3,000 or $2,000 depending on the days that you go, and it's like, oh my God, it's ridiculous. So I'm gonna keep on just looking at it every single day to see if they drop. At Cyber Monday, they may go down. I heard that Tuesday after Black Friday is a really good day to shop for travel, so I'm gonna look on Tuesday as well. But after that, like if I can't find any really good deals, I might just be like, screw it, we're not gonna be able, I mean, I would love to go somewhere, but the reality is, it's just a lot of money. I mean, we can't do it if the air is going to be that much. You know, the flights, if just that part is going to be that much, we can't afford that. I mean, it's just a lot of money, you know. Just because we don't want to be here for New Year's, we want to get out of the cold for a little while. Plus, we're going, you know, on a couple other trips coming up after that. We're going to Dallas and then to Miami and then to Las Vegas. So, doing standing out here in the cold? What is going on? The car is on one side of the road and they're standing on the other side of the road. What is going on? So yeah, what did I do today? I was like trying to think about my day today. Oh, we slept in. Oh my God, did we sleep in? We slept in so late. Well, last night, you know, I vlogged longer than I thought I did. And so, when I got home, I ate some hummus and some stuff like that, and I watched Dragula. I actually finished the season tonight, season 3. So I'm completely caught up. Well, I've watched all of the Dragula. Well, no, season 1 I haven't watched, but it's on YouTube. It's not on Netflix. People keep on asking me, where is Dragula? Because I tweeted out something about it, and they're like, where is it? It's on Netflix. And it's Dragula. Like, Dracula, but Dragula. It's really good. But I knew who was gonna win because I was so stupid that like 2 nights ago I went through and I was looking them up on Instagram, because I do that with, like, whenever I'm watching a TV show, I always like look up the cast, you know, and their Wikipedias if I don't know who the cast is of some movie or something. And so I was looking up each of these people on, well, one of them had said something like, so there was this one drag queen, her name was Madeline Hatter, and somebody said on like the second to the last show is like the reunion show, and they said everybody knew who she was that was younger because like they looked up to her. And so I started looking up, I looked up her on Instagram, and then I started looking up all of these drag queens that had been on the last 2 seasons that I had watched. And when I came upon this one, it was like winner of Dragula season 3, and I was like, damn it, like why did I read these? Like I didn't want to know, you know? So I knew who was gonna win it going into the finale, and I think rightfully so. I think the right person won consistently across the whole season. I don't know if I thought in the finale show, based on what they did in the finale, they should have won. I don't think. If it was based solely just on the finale, I don't think that they should have won. But I think that over the course of the whole season, they definitely deserve to win. But the finale night, I mean, Alex was watching it with me tonight because I was eating, and he made a cheese quesadilla, and so we were sitting there, and he was like asking me questions about it while we were watching it, and like their looks for the season finale were like phenomenal. I mean, unbelievable. And so anyway, now there is like, I mean, it's a different kind of drag show. So like in the finale, they had to do glamour, filth, and horror. And the filth part is really disgusting. Like I told Alex, I said, you're not gonna wanna watch this part. And when it came on, he was like, ugh. But anyway, it's an interesting show, competition show. So I'm drinking my Diet Coke that Caitlin brought me yesterday. I put it in the refrigerator and it's cold now, so I'm drinking it. So thank you, Caitlin. Cheers. And so we slept late today. Alex slept till like 3. I slept till like 3:45. And I couldn't believe that we slept so late, but it was so nice. And he was eating a bunch of leftovers when I got up. And so I went downstairs and I started putting my vlog together. And then he was like, well, what are you gonna do today? He was like, are you needing to make some videos, or are you wanting to make some videos? And I was like, yeah. And I said, there's a couple videos that I wanna make, and I really wanted to make videos on all of my channels today. But it just got so late in the day. I didn't even actually start till like 5 or 5:30 making videos. 5:30, probably more like 5:30 or 6, and it's Friday evening. It feels like I am so off from the days because of Thanksgiving. So anyway, I said, well, I'm gonna run and go get coffee. I was drinking coffee out of this cup today, this iridescent cup, not the pink one. Although it kind of does look a little pink, doesn't it? But it doesn't in person. It's like silver iridescent. So I said, I'm gonna go get some coffee. I need to run to the post office. I've got some other things I wanted to run to Meyer. And I said, and then I will be home. And he said, okay. He was like, I want to run by Sarah's. He wanted to go over to Sarah's because they were like putting up stuff and trying to like get her house in order since she's moved in there. And she had like hung her TV and done a bunch of stuff, so he wanted to visit and see that. And he goes, I'll just go over there while you're filming your videos. And I said, okay. So he went over there for a couple hours. I talked to Tanya on the phone. I was gonna go hang out with Tanya tonight, but then I ended up taking a nap. Well, Alex came home, and then we were like kind of eating together, and I was finishing up Dragula, and that was like after I'd made my videos and stuff. And so I said, I'm gonna lay down for a little bit, and Alex goes, well, I'm going to bed. And I was like, okay. And so he went to bed, and I set my alarm to get up, and I just turned my alarm off and didn't get up. I was so cozy in bed. The bed was so comfortable, and all the pups were up there. we think that, like, we have figured it out, like, when PP gets sick, he sometimes goes and, like, eats Boo and Tucker's food, and we think that it makes him sick because he's used to, like, the regular food, the kidney food. And apparently, because, like, Alex is now, like, tries to feed him earlier in the day. So he said PP was, like, went over to, like, Tucker's plate or something and was just, like, eating a lot of the food really quick. And so we think that maybe he's just not used to it. And it's because I think his food for his kidney stuff is, like, really bland on his, like, his little tummy. And I think that, you know, theirs is probably not bland, and so we think that that probably is what, I mean, he has had, like, literal constant diarrhea. We've had to take him out. He's had his, like, tail tucked, and then he just keeps on running to the door, and so we, like, take him out, and he immediately just, like, squats, and then, so the poor little guy, it's just so sad. But hopefully he'll be back to normal tomorrow. When that's happened, you know, he, like, feels 100% better usually the next day, so we're hoping tomorrow he feels better. But yeah, that was the day. That was our real exciting day. I don't have tons to talk about. I was just thinking about how weird it feels that it is, like, Thanksgiving is over. Like, I turned, when I got in the car, I turned on the radio and it's Christmas music. Let's see what we're listening to right now. Johnny Mathis, Caroling. And, so when I got in the car, like, you know, I turned on the Christmas music like I do every single day that I get in the car, because I've been listening to Sirius Radio, like the Christmas station, and jazz, standard, and classical, 73 holiday traditions. I say it like that because that's what they say on the commercials, but anyway, Johnny Mathis, Caroling. I think it's Happy Christmas or something. But I was like, it's weird. Like, it feels almost kind of like, well, today I got this advent calendar in the mail that I had ordered, and I had forgotten that I ordered it to review on my review channel. It was like this big package, and Alex goes, what is that? And so we were in the kitchen and we were, like, opening it, and I was like, oh, it's this advent calendar that I ordered. But I didn't want to review any more advent calendars, like, after the 1st of December, because I felt like, what's the point? And now I have 3 more advent calendars that I have to review, so I'm gonna have to do them the next 3 days in a row, which is, like, whatever. But because, I mean, who wants to see the review of an advent calendar like the 15th of December? I mean, like, that's not really that interesting if you're thinking about buying it, right? Do you know what's really crazy is that on the review channel, like, I just have so much fun doing it, and I just really like trying new stuff and whatever. But, like, people in my real life, like, my cousin was telling me this, and her son was saying it in regards to the Starbucks drinks, and some of my other friends have said it, because, like, I have a lot of people in my personal life, like, they don't watch any of my other channels, but they do watch that channel. And what they'll say is, well, oh, Alex's mom was saying it the other night about not knowing what food to order when she goes through fast food, so she, like, you know, gets different ideas and whatever. And they're like, yeah, we really want to know what your opinion is, because we know you're honest about it on there, and so we want to know, like, if it's something that we should try or not. And I was like, that is so crazy that people are, like, legit coming over there for my review. I think that is so cool. Like, I love that, right? I mean, it's a review channel, so yeah, that makes sense. But at the same time, I sometimes think people don't take it seriously because it's so, like, haha and all this kind of stuff. But, like, I really do, like, mean them to be serious. Like, they're supposed to be fun videos, but at the same time, like, my review is serious of it and what I really think, you know? So I don't know, that just kind of makes me happy. But so I think the next couple days are gonna be, well, they're fun advent calendars. They're different than what I've done before, so yeah. And then going into December, I'm gonna do a lot of Starbucks drinks, a lot of, like, Christmas themed stuff, obviously, on the review channel. I really want to make a concerted effort going into December, which is Sunday, that every day on my channel, I would really like to do this for 30 days. I would really like every day on my channels to post a video every day on every one of my channels. But that would be my goal for December, if I could do it. in all honesty, I kind of just like to see what that process is like when I'm doing it every single day. You know, like, it's been a while since I've done that, and I've been kind of surprised lately. Like, I was looking at my numbers on my Peterisms videos tonight. I very rarely, like, go and look at, like, what my numbers are. I mean, it's, like, I obviously see, you know, how many views and stuff I get on a video, but, like, I really don't pay a whole lot of attention to that. And so I was kind of, like, looking at my Peterisms videos, and I think, like, the last time I looked, I was getting 700-800 average views a video, let's say, right? And I looked on there, and it was like, I'm averaging like 1,200 views a video on my Peterisms channel, which makes me so incredibly happy, because I love that. I mean, I love all of my channels, but I love that channel just to sit on there and talk about meditations and, you know, the things that I've learned and, you know, the mistakes I've made and the experiences that I've had. Like, that is really cool for me. And I feel like that's, you know, for that channel, I feel like that's a pretty good amount of views. But I have really kind of not been paying a bunch of attention to my BookTube channel. And so going into December, I really want to focus some attention on my BookTube channel. I've been watching a lot of these BookTubers lately. You know, the interesting thing with BookTube is that I would say there's like 60%, well, let's just put this on when I started to now. I would say like 60% are like college age of BookTubers. And then I would say like another 20% are after college to 30. And then I would say, so what is that? 80%. And then I would say like another 15% are like 30 to 40. And then I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm doing this all wrong, but I would feel like there's a very small percentage of about my age on BookTube. You know, maybe 5% that's like 45, 40 and older, 40 and older. So it's really dominated by younger people. I think it's changing a little bit. Like, I've started to see a lot of like more mature BookTubers, and, you know, BookTubers are talking about all different kinds of books. They're not just talking about, you know, young adult books. And when I got on BookTube, it was the majority of people were talking about young adult books, which I love young adult books. I think some of our best fiction out there right now are young adult books, period. I think some of the most developed characters, I think some of the most creative storylines, some of the greatest plots, like Let It Snow that I just read. Oh, by the way, a little shout out to Robbie Reeds, who asked me if I had finished reading the book. Yes, I finished reading the book. But some of our best, I can hear the radio in the background. Some of our best, like that book was fantastic. I'm not happy with the movie. I really don't know, and I'm going to say this in my review when I do it, so if you watch my BookTube channel, you're going to hear this in my review again too. I don't know why, when you have a fantastic idea in a book, you go and change it for a movie, or like a character. Like, one of my biggest issues, like when I started watching, I'm really, like, I really wanted to watch You, and I think it's on Netflix. It's with the guy from Gossip Girl, and, you know, it was that book by Carolyn Kepnes. Well, we read it for our book club, and the book was really good. But Peach in the book is, like, a pretty prominent character, and she has a very specific look in the book. I don't want to ruin it. If you haven't read it, you gotta go read it. But she has a very specific look and manner, and in my head, I imagined her a very specific way. Like, I imagined her, well, first of all, she's a redhead in the book, which kind of matches this whole idea of Peach, you know? And then she's like a descendant of like J.D. Salinger, and not descendant, but she's like a family member of J.D. Salinger, and she's just very like arrogant and affected. And when I saw Peach like in the show, like when I got to that part, which was very early in the season, I just couldn't watch it after that. I was like, why do you change these characters? And like even the main character, I can't think of what her name is now, which which you can see, like, it really, that book, I liked it, but it just, I think Joe is his name, the main guy's name. But anyway, when the main character, like, even in the opening scene when she's shopping in the bookstore, is completely, like, the way that I pictured her, like, in the book, in the way that they paint her to be in even the opening scenes, it's just so completely different that I feel, I don't know. And so I started watching Let It Snow. I'm about halfway through it right now. Basically what they did was they kept all of the characters' names, but, like, they switched completely everything. Like, it doesn't even make sense. So, for example, okay, well, here's the deal. So, the first story was about, here's what really, I don't even know how to get into it. It really bothers me, you guys. Like, because this was the thing. After I finished reading the book, I was so excited to watch the movie, because I was like, the movie, first of all, was a blizzard adventure on Christmas Eve, okay? Which, that's like the ideal book that I'm always looking for at Christmas. I'm always looking for, like, a blizzard adventure that takes place at Christmas, right? So, Christmas Comes to Willow Creek for the movie, if you want it. But anyway, so when I read it, and it's about this small town that, I think in Virginia, that is basically snowed in on Christmas Eve, and nobody can come in and nobody can get out, and there's this train that's stuck there, and everybody is congregated at the Waffle House, and all this stuff. I mean, it's just such a great idea. And then, like, you know, the first couple, it just is done so well. And the blizzard itself is a character in the book. Like, it really, really is. And so then when I get, and I'm watching the movie, and it's like, yeah, they had this heavy snowfall, but it wasn't really a blizzard. And people are walking and driving around the town, which, when you read the book, there was this very desolate feeling about it, that it was occurring in the middle of the night, kind of, and people, like, were stuck, and they couldn't go anywhere. Like, that is completely missed in the movie. And then they change up all these characters, I think, to appeal to a popular younger audience, when the reality is that it was already appealing to a popular younger audience. So I don't know why they changed it. They changed so much. It doesn't make any sense. They, like, wrote in this one storyline of this girl, and it's like, it's so confusing, because if you've read the book and you're trying to, like, figure out who's who, it, like, doesn't match up. And there was this whole thing, and then they're gonna have this party. There was never gonna be a party in the book. Like, there was never gonna be a party. I don't know. I just don't like it. I think it's poorly done, and I think they ruined the book to movie adaptation. And what's interesting to me about this is that, other than The Fault in Our Stars, I feel like most of John Green's, well, what's my other option, Paper Towns, was a horrible book to movie adaptation. Horribly done. And so it's like, whenever he's kind of, like, it has something to do with him, because I don't know if he had anything to do with the movie or not, but I just don't enjoy the movie. I don't think the movie is done very well at all. It's gonna stop, hold on. But it makes me sad, because I was really excited about it, and I was really excited to really love this movie and be like, okay, this is gonna be my forever Christmas movie going forward. Although I will tell you that if you didn't watch the Christmas Chronicles last year, you should watch it, because it's a really cute movie. So I don't know, I was kind of upset about that, but it's like, okay, so there's no point for me to discuss it, because if you haven't read the book, like, it wouldn't make any sense to you. But they completely even changed the characterization of these people, like their demeanor and everything. Like, I'm watching it and I'm like, this is, I don't know. And then what's interesting is, I was seeing, like, people that I follow that are booktubers, right? And they were singing its praises and talking about how great it was. But I don't know if they read the book. And that's the other thing. Like, if I didn't read the book, would I have loved the movie? I don't know, you know? because I can't separate myself from it. And that's always a problem for me, is like when I read a book and then when I go in to watch the movie, because I mean, let's just be for real. How many times is the movie better than the book? Not very often, right? A few times, but not very often. I'm trying to think of some books to move. Love, Simon by Becky Albertalli was fantastic. And it wasn't exactly like the book. I mean, it was different than the book, but not really. But no, not really, it wasn't. It stuck pretty true to it. I'm trying to think of Paper Towns, I thought was not well done. The Fault in Our Stars was very well done. The Snowman by Joe Nesbo. Oh, that was really good. If you've never watched that, that is a really great, and that is a really good spy movie at Christmas time. Oh, I'll tell you one that I read, and I think I read it for BookTube-a-thon, was The Dinner. I can't think of the guy's name who it's by. Oh man, that was an intense book. Well, they made it into a movie, and they completely changed everything about what it was really about. And it's like, you're not afraid to talk about this stuff in a book, but you're afraid to talk about it in a movie because it was super intense stuff. It's like, you're not afraid to talk about it in a book, but you're afraid to talk about it in a movie. And I know for a fact, because I read this article about it, that the author went to go see the movie and like halfway through walked out because he was so just done with how it was portrayed. It was so poorly done. I feel like his name is Edward something. But that's a really good book, by the way, if you want to read The Dinner. It's about these two couples, and they go to dinner, and their sons are friends and have gotten into like some trouble, but you don't know what the trouble is when the dinner starts. And so with each course of the meal, it gets like more and more and more intense. It's written so well. It is such a great novel. I think it was up for some award a couple years ago. I was telling Alex yesterday, you know, it was weird. Like, this was the first Thanksgiving, like when we were, I think I might have said this in the vlog yesterday, but when we were at dinner and stuff, this was like the first Thanksgiving that I didn't really like reminisce a whole lot about my mom, and I didn't really think a lot about my mom, you know, and it just was weird. It was like I didn't, like at dinner, like with Caroline, we were talking about her dad and how much her dad, oh, I think I did talk about that on here, how much her dad loved Hollyhock and stuff, but we didn't really talk about my mom, and like we usually do, like my mom or my aunt or whatever. And like, I'll never forget my mom. I love my mom, you know, and every day I'm reminded of my mom. But I think that it's starting to really, like, take, you know, that, listen, there's no time limit on grieving, you know. So don't ever let somebody tell you, like, if it's 20 years later and you're still talking about somebody that you lost on a daily basis, that's your business, nobody else's. Don't ever let anybody rush that process for you. You know, she was my mother. I'll think about her every day for the rest of my life, probably. But it's become apparent to me lately, like it's almost was kind of like this moment of clarity that I had, that it's been a really long time since she passed, you know? Like, I was just thinking about something, and I was like, it's been a really long time since my mom passed away. It's not like it was yesterday. You know, I mean, it has been a long time, and I don't necessarily feel stuck by the grief at all. I wonder if you can get down here now. I want to design this. I bet you can, but I want to go look and see. I don't necessarily, well, you can't get down here, I don't think. I don't feel stuck by the grief. I like telling stories. I like talking about her. I like remembering her. But it's been a really long time. We're going to have lunch with my dad and my stepmom next weekend, which will be fun. Oh, man. Can you still not get through here? This is ridiculous. What does this say right here? Road closed ahead. And then Alex has some like Friendsgiving thing that he goes to it every year. And I actually was talking to him about it the other day. And I said, are you wanting me to go? And he goes, you can go. But he goes, oh, I went the first year. Because it was like started like 5 years ago. And it literally was like, I mean, it's like kegs in the garage. It's a party. And I thought, he goes, it's not going to be like Melissa's and, you know, Errands sitting around and just talking and stuff. He goes, you remember what it was like? And I was like, oh yeah, I totally kind of forgot. I mean, it was like a big party. And I was like, I don't know, we'll see. I may not do that. It's not that I hate it when I go and do stuff like that. It's just that like I get there and I can do like an hour, but then I kind of lose enjoyment after a while. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like at some point, I'm just like, you know, I could be doing something with Tanya or my sponsor or my friends, you know, like I don't enjoy just like sitting around. I think the first year that we went, they had like, I said this, I couldn't remember what the name of this was the other day, and somebody, a couple people commented on it. They were playing like beer pong in the garage, okay? And I'm like, and these are not people that are super young either, let me just say. And I just was kind of like, oh, I don't, like, this is just not enjoyable for me. And I don't pass judgment on it, but it's just not fun for me, you know? And so I always end up finding myself, like, you know, in the corner talking to the one lonely person at the party or something who's telling me all their woes. And so I'm like, because I don't drink, you know? So I think maybe I'll just not go. Oh my God. Peter Monn and the Lonely Hearts Club. That's what I'm gonna call this vlog. Peter Monn and the Lonely Hearts Club. I wish we would get some snow for Christmas, that's all I'm saying. This rain and stuff, I'm over it. Like, it's raining right now and it's 35 degrees. Could you just drop 6 degrees and start snowing, please? What do you think that is about me that has this, like, fantasy of, like, being stuck in a snowstorm at Christmas? Like, that has been a thing since I have been a little kid. I used to, like, I have said the word like a million times today in the video. I don't know who I was talking to earlier that, because so many of my friends do it. But, what was I gonna say? When I was a little kid, I would even, like, there, I did it again. Anyway, now that I've said it, everybody will notice it, so I apologize for saying it so that everybody notices it. But when I was a little kid, I would even kind of like fantasize about it, you know, and I would like play like we were in a blizzard or whatever, you know, and that I had to, you know, we had to seal up my room because the snow was gonna like get in. Like, oh, I think maybe I read or saw an episode of Little House on the Prairie, and it was like the long winter, and I remember it snowed over the house, and Mr. Edwards, he came and he brought them Christmas presents, and they thought he was Santa Claus. I think it was watching the episode, and then my mom and I later read the book, and I started reading them again as an adult. They're actually interesting. Like, if you want to read a series that's kind of interesting to see a different perspective than stuff that we read today, the Laura Ingalls Wilder books are really actually pretty good, and you have to read them in order, though, if you're going to read them. I think there's like 7 or 8, and there's not as many as I thought there were, because when I went to go read them they're really super quick reads too. When I went to go read them a couple years ago, I was mildly surprised at 2. What did I just say? Peter Monn, get your grammar in check. I was surprised at 2. I was surprised. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I was surprised about how short they were, I mean, how few there were. I thought there were like 50 in there. But when I was a little kid, I had like the hardbound ones that had like this paper cover over them, and I don't know what happened to those. Or maybe they were my cousins, I don't remember. I kind of just remember seeing them when I was a kid. But in the basement, I have a couple of the, maybe I'll reread those. I don't really remember reading them. I think the first one is Little House in the Big Woods, and then I think it's Little House in the Prairie, and then I think it's The Long Winter. The Long Winter is the third or fourth book. But they're different than the TV show, but they're really well done. I mean, they're legit real because she lived that life, so they're autobiographical. But yeah, I've always wanted like a big blizzard snowstorm at Christmas time. And I think, honestly, of all my years on this planet, I think I can only remember one year that it was really bad like that. I remember, I actually talked about it on here not too long ago. I remember one year that for Christmas break, we got out like 3 or 4 days early or something. I can't remember. It was when I was younger. It would have been when I was in elementary school or junior high. And we got out like 3 or 4 days early for Christmas break because of the weather. I think it'd be kind of fun. People are like, that's where the real serious ones are like, you think a blizzard is fun? Like, what about that? I think a blizzard at Christmas time, if you have a home and all that stuff, yes, okay? For the people that don't, I feel horrible for them. But I think that the idea of a let's just call it a snowstorm. We don't need to say a blizzard. The idea of a snowstorm at Christmas time is Christmassy, and yes, I think that's fine. I like the idea of that. But we never do in Indiana anymore. You know, it's like, when I was a kid growing up, I do remember that we had a lot of snow around Christmas time. I mean, not like feet of snow, but we would have a couple inches on the ground around at Christmas. I mean, I don't remember ever just being like, I hope we get a white Christmas, I hope we get a white Christmas. And, you know, I mean, we always had flurries or snow around Christmas. Like, at least like an inch or two of snow on the ground. It was pretty, you know, regular that we did. And now, I would say in the last 5-10 years, it's strange if we have snow at Christmas time. And what's weird about this is that when we started going to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, my mom and my ex and I for Christmas, which would have been, let's see, he and I got together in 2001, so that would have probably been like 2004 or 5. When we started going down there, I remember like looking up the weather forecast for Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and the mountains around there at Christmas time. Well, Gatlinburg doesn't get a lot of snow at Christmas time, or they didn't then, at least. And typically it's warmer temperatures and whatever, and I can remember saying to my mom, like, oh, we're not gonna have any snow, we usually get snow at Christmas time. So this is just something that has changed. I mean, I don't know if it's global warming, I don't know a whole lot about that stuff, but you know, just in the last like 15 years that our winters have changed and we don't have as much snow as we used to have. Which is so strange, and I know it's because we're not like off the lakefront and stuff like that, but literally 2.5 hours north in Chicago, like their winters are 100 times harsher than ours are. Indiana winters are really not that bad anymore. We really don't have bad winters. But you know, just a little bit north in Chicago, it's horrible. And upstate Indiana is horrible. You know, 2 hours north of here, I mean, they have like horrific winters and snows and ice and stuff. Now I say this, and watch, this will be one of the worst winters we've ever had, but we don't really have bad winters and stuff anymore. We'll have a couple days here and there. This car is like coming over into my lane. we'll have a couple days here and there where the snow is really, like, we'll get, you know, a lot of snow, and then it'll go away within 2 or 3 days. We really get more ice and sleet in Indianapolis than anything else, which is dead, you know. I mean, first of all, it's not pretty to look at. It's not fun. You don't go play in it, you know, and all that kind of stuff. You don't do sleet angels or ice angels. You don't do all that. And then you go out on the road and it looks like this, and it's like black ice and it's slick as hell and people are sliding all over the place. I remember, this was so funny. I forgot all about this. God, when was that? I think it was before I had my vlog channel. I'm trying to think of how long my sponsor's been my sponsor, because it was when I was going to... It was before I had my vlog channel. So this was over 3 years ago, you guys. And it was in November. And I used to go to... So I used to go to all candlelight meetings for a long time. Was that before I started my vlog? It must have been before I started my vlog, because I would have been vlogging while I was doing it, and I wasn't vlogging while I was doing... I think I recorded something on there that night, but anyway. So I used to go to this meeting on Sunday nights. It was my home group meeting, which means your home group meeting in recovery is a meeting that you make a commitment to that you're going to be at every week. I've changed that since then, but this is when I had a different sponsor, and I was going to all candlelight meetings, and I was going to like 5 candlelight meetings a week. I was going to Tuesday with Tanya, and then I was going to a Wednesday candlelight that was the sister meeting to my home group on Sunday, and so I was the chairperson of that meeting for almost 2 years. That means every week I was there, I chaired that meeting. And then Thursday night, I went to a 10:45 meeting at a homeless shelter. That meeting is phenomenal. Tanya and I still go to that meeting every once in a while. And then Friday nights, I went to a candlelight that was at 9:30. Saturday nights, I went to a candlelight was at 9:30, and 10:30 was... I wasn't going to 7 meetings a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was going to 6 meetings. I was going to 6 meetings a week. That's crazy, I forgot. It was a lot. And I also had a very serious service position that I had to like go to a meeting every Sunday morning. And then like a citywide meeting once a month. So anyway, that was back then. And, but this one Sunday night, I went to the candlelight, my home group. Candlelight meeting means it's all in the dark, and then there are candles that are lit. And so we used to sit around these tables, and like every table would have a candle at it, and it was all in the dark. It was very spiritual, very serene, and very peaceful. They were great meetings. A couple of them have closed down now because there's not as many people that go to those meetings as they used to. And they've kind of moved the times and the places of some of them. But anyway, so I went to this meeting, and I got there at like, the meeting started at 9:30, and I got there at like 9, and it was raining like this. Here, I'll show you. It's just kind of like drizzling. Can you see? It's like raining, but it's not like, you know. So I came out of the meeting an hour later, you guys, okay? And there was like 6 or 8 of us at this meeting. It was a really small meeting that night. And it was about this temperature. It was like 35, and then it had dropped and had gone down to like 29, like in an hour. And in that hour, it literally had turned to, I mean, like we stepped out into the parking lot and was like it was ice. It was black ice. You could not tell. It was like that thick. And it was all over the roads. Like there was like a layer of ice all over the roads. And I'm on the east side of Indianapolis at this point. I'm probably on side streets 40 minutes from home on a good day. But on ice, I'm probably, no lie, like this kind of ice, probably 2 hours from home, 3 hours from home. And I'm thinking I can make it on the interstate. There's not that many people. And I thought, well, surely the interstate wouldn't be really that bad, you know? So going down, I'm getting ready to get on the interstate, and I look up at the interstate, and I think, well, there's not really anybody on the interstate, so maybe I can just go like 20 miles per hour on the interstate and just get home. I mean, it was bad, you guys. The ice was bad. And I'm like, maybe I can just go like 20 miles an hour and just make it home. And the thing is that there are parts of 465, which is the interstate, that go way down like this, and I was afraid that on those parts, and I didn't know how I was going to get it off of the off-ramp. I have talked about this on here, I remember. But anyway, so I get on, I go around, and I get up on the interstate, and I'm like probably, I don't know, a third of a mile or a quarter of a mile, and I look, and it's literally just stopped traffic on the interstate for miles. I mean, I can see it, like literally like 2 miles ahead, and it's just stopped traffic. All I'm seeing is red brake lights. And I'm like, shit. So I start braking, and literally I'm going like 20 or 30, and as soon as I hit the brake lights, my car starts fishtailing. I mean, it is horrible, right? Going 20 miles an hour. It was so bad. So I pull in here and whatever. Well, as soon as I got up there, all these cops started coming from everywhere. They shut off the interstate behind me, and they made it that nobody could get on the interstate after, you know, like, so there was probably, I don't know, 20 cars behind me, but like after, I don't know, maybe more. But after that, like, they shut it off so nobody else could get on the interstate. And they shut all the interstates down, and it was like a state of emergency in Indiana. Nobody was supposed to be out on the roads and stuff, but we're all stuck on the interstate. So this was at like, well, my meeting got out at like 10:30, so this would have been 11 at this point, something like that. I was stuck on the interstate, you guys, till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I could not believe it. And I just was like losing my mind. I was just like, I cannot believe. And I was afraid, like, to keep on running my car. I was afraid, like, the battery would die. I was afraid that I would run out of, you know, whatever, all that kind of stuff. And it was cold. It was like, you know, getting colder. I think that was like a night that the temperature really, really dropped, and that's why it got so bad. But it was getting colder, and, you know, people were like turning off their cars. They weren't running their heat and stuff like that. And like, people would literally get out of their car to kind of go see what was going on. And I mean, as soon as they got out of their car, they would hit it. They would just bloop, like they would fall. I mean, it was literally that bad. And it was crazy. And then I remember, as soon as it started going and you could like go a little bit, like, people were so tired of sitting there. It was at the end, I didn't know it. That you would see people just like going by really fast, and then you would see the same people and they would be in the ditch. There were so many cars in the ditch. I mean, I literally drove home like this, going like about this fast, like 10 miles an hour the whole way home that night. Because I was like, I don't care how long it takes me to get home, I just want to get home. So the exits that were going up, you know, like if you get off the interstate to go up, there were so many cars that were like, had gone up and just, they couldn't make it all the way up. Their car just, like, they got like a little bit up, and then their car just couldn't do it anymore, and it started sliding back. And there were so many cars stuck on the exits that you couldn't even get off the exits. The exits going down. I wonder if I did vlog about this night. Maybe I was on here. I don't think so, though. But the cars go, I think it was right before, I think it was in November before I started my vlog. The cars going down, like, or the exits going down, people were going off on the ditch. So I really did not know, like, what exit to get off at. I was, like, kind of panicking about it. I was like, I don't know which exit to take. If I go up, I'm going to get stuck. If I go down, I'm going to go into a ditch. Like, which one do I go, right? And so I was, like, thinking it out in my head strategically, like, which is the best exit to go in that's kind of, like, more gradual. And, I think I did Keystone, which is back there, and because it's more of like kind of a gradual, you don't go up and you don't go down, it's more of like a gradual thing. I think that's the one I did. But then what was so bad was when I got in my neighborhood, I tried to, like, so to get into our back gate, first of all, the gate was frozen, so it wouldn't open. But it didn't matter, because every time I tried to get up this literally like 15-foot area of, I just kept on, my car would go back, and I was like, this, and then I went around the other way, and I couldn't get through either because I would just get stuck in this one area. And I finally, because Alex had like, you know, like I would call him, he went to bed finally, but he was like, babe, call me, I'll leave my phone on, whatever. And I finally called him, and I was kind of like, do you ever get like, where you've kind of just had it and you're exhausted? I was kind of like in panic mode, and I was like, babe, I don't know how to get into the neighborhood. And he goes, just park your car and walk. And I was like, what? I mean, it hadn't even occurred to me, right? And he was like, just park your car and walk in. You're 2 minutes from our door. And I didn't do that. I ended up finally getting in through the front way, but I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that, right? But he was like, just park and walk it. He was like, don't worry about this anymore. You're fine, you're okay, you're safe, you're at home. I was just, it was a lot. I've been put through it. And then on top of that, there were cars that were dying because they ran out of gas and stuff like that. So it was just a crazy night. There were accidents everywhere. It was so scary. I remember tweeting out and tweeting a bunch of stuff about it too. And there were other people that were like, I'm stuck on the road. I'm stuck like at a certain place. And I was, you know, whatever. There was like a lot of people that were talking about it that night, which is kind of crazy, you know? Ready, set, customize. It sounds more fun in retrospect. Like, I'm thinking back on it, and I was kind of like, there were moments of that were kind of like, oh my God, kind of like, this is kind of exciting. But no, it really wasn't at the time. Like, it was pretty scary. And I didn't like it at all. I really didn't like driving home after that. Do you ever go through something like that and you're like, I just want to get home? I mean, I used to be like that when I was drinking. Like, I just wanted to get home and be safe in my own bed. Because I look back on that and I think, like, it would have been so smart for me just to, like, check into something. I mean, there was all these little hotels around there that would have probably cost me, you know, not too expensive at night just to get a room and go to sleep. You know what I mean? Just sit in there for the night and watch some TV and fall asleep. And in a couple of hours, I wouldn't even have to stay there the whole night. Just, you know, in a couple of hours, wake up and let it pass and drive in there. But I never think of things that way. I'm always just like, I'm going to make it home, you know? And then, like, I'm, like, driving home and I'm stuck in it. And I'm like, oh, my God, what did I do? What did I do? You know? I'm gonna pull in here and I'm gonna look at the weather forecast and see if we're getting any snow. If anybody knows any good books that are about blizzards or being stuck in blizzards, let me know, because I would like to read this month. I don't care if it even has anything to do with Christmas. Okay. Oh. Dream. Let's see, weather. 37 in rain right now. That says 35 in my car. It's all in the low 40s. I mean, there was like some days of like snow showers, but not like any accumulation. I know we're not gonna have a white Christmas. Oh. Oh well. Is there anybody else out there that likes like snowy weather like that at Christmas time, or is it just me? I don't mind it. And like the thing is, like I don't mind it in January either. I mean, now I know in January will come and I'll say, I mean, I've said it on here before that like after Christmas I'm ready for the weather to be gone. But like in reality, like, and that's true. Like, I mean, as soon as Christmas is over, I'm kind of like, just kind of like done with like the snow and stuff. I'm like, if we don't get any more snow, I'm totally fine with that. But the reality is in Indiana, we don't really get bad snow or anything until like January, February is when, I mean, that's really when the chances are for it. So I'm still okay with it like in January or February. It's just not as fun because you don't have like the Christmas tree up and the Christmas songs, you know, and let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. You know, you're like doing all that Valentine's Day and, you know, getting ready for spring. It's like, that's what it's all about. And Mrs. Birdie coming back to our doorstep, of which Alex has made it very clear that Mrs. Birdie will not be coming back ever again. He thought that was just too much, so we won't be doing that again. But anyway, and Steve, her baby. Do you guys remember, so if you haven't been watching this for a long time, I had a bird that built a nest on the carriage house right outside our front door, and I named her Mrs. Birdie, and she had, how many eggs did she have? 4 or 5? I have all kinds of pictures that were up in my phone. I literally have probably 30 pictures that were in my phone, plus an entire video that I made of Boo Radley. So one of her babies that she had, his name was Steve, and it was Boo Radley's best friend, but Boo Radley was very disappointed that Steve left him and went away. He wasn't very happy about that at all. He's still not. Every once in a while he gets real upset about it. Our pillows were too close together tonight, Alex and I's. These are the kind of things that we deal with in our house. Are you ready? It's like, so, you know, with this California king-size bed, and like our pillows are like, there was like this much room in between them. Because we usually like have them kind of pushed to the edge, you know? And so usually there's like that much room in between them. And Boo Radley just stood there because he usually sleeps right in between the pillows. And he stood there tonight when we were getting ready to go to bed, and he goes, "Whoa." And Alex goes, "Boo Radley, this is our bed." Like Boo Radley understands it. He goes, "This is our bed. You can find somewhere else to sleep." And Boo Radley just stood there, and like 2 minutes later, he goes, "Oh." And Alex like moves his pillow. He goes, "Damn it, dog." Like, it's just easier to move the pillows, Alex, and just let him sleep there. And so he moved his pillow, and Boo Radley like got in his little circle in between the pillows. It was so cute. Because that's where he likes to sleep, is right in between the pillows. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Alex has like some kind of meeting thing in the morning, and then he's going to get a facial from a friend of his, I think. And then he was like, and then I'll be home after that. And I want to make videos on most of my channels tomorrow. I was actually thinking of, because Sunday is December 1st, although this may start on December 7th, and I'm making this like goal of making a video every single day in December, I was thinking about maybe not posting videos tomorrow and like taking a 1-day break, and then on Sunday posting videos. But I don't know. We'll see. But I could film some videos tomorrow to post on Sunday. But if I film videos tomorrow, I want to post them tomorrow, because whenever I film them, I'm always like, oh, I do want to do my review videos though, because why is that? My Diet Coke is making me belch. But I do want to post an advent calendar review, because I have 3. So I got to get those going up, you know. Plus they're taking a lot of space. And then I don't know if Alex has any plans tomorrow night. He was actually going to go out tonight. There was a DJ in town that he wanted, Sid or somebody, that he wanted to hear, and he didn't end up doing it. He like came home because he was like, he texted me from Sarah's. Well, they FaceTimed me, and then he texted me. He's like, I'm coming home. I'm so tired. And It's so nice that she lives so close to us now. I mean, she's literally like 2 minutes away. Probably not even 2 minutes away. Probably a minute and a half down the street. I mean, I'm not even lying. And so we can just run over there and see her and run home. It's really nice. And she was like, come over. She was like, come over. They were FaceTiming me when I was at Meijer. She was like, come over. And I was like, because I went to Meijer earlier, and then I went to Meijer again later, and I got some food, extra food stuff to bring home. And I was like, well, I would. I said, but I think I was going to do a live stream tonight. So I think I'm going to do a live stream on Saturday night. And just to kind of hang out and talk. I'll do it on YouTube if I do it. I have this bag of stuff to give to my nephews. Like this elf on the shelf that I bought them, and a book, and a book activity book, and these advent calendars and all this stuff. And I keep on forgetting to give it to them. And I have a bag of stuff to give Tanya. And this stuff is like literally, I have stuff I need to send Mel, hey Mel. And I have, it is literally just taking up my kitchen. It is all over. And I need to just get organized and go and disperse this stuff is what I need to do. Truck in front of me just straight up ran a stop sign. But now I officially feel like I can start watching Christmas movies too. I mean, not that I couldn't before, and not that I haven't been listening to Christmas music for a month. I'm trying to think of what Christmas movies I really want to see. I was thinking about this the other day. I always Christmas comes and goes, or some holiday will come and go, and then I forget one of the favorite things I wanted to watch. I was thinking about this the other day that one of my favorite cartoons, I love old Christmas cartoons that I grew up with. One of my favorite Christmas cartoons is that literally looked like the truck from Joyride. That guy would go candy cane, and he was backing into that place. It was really kind of scary, sketchy. But anyway, candy cane. I loved Ziggy's Christmas. Have you guys ever seen it? You can find it on YouTube. With Ziggy, do you guys remember Ziggy, the bald guy, and his little dog? It's really a cute little Christmas cartoon. And yeah, and there's a bunch of Christmas movies that are out on Netflix and Amazon Prime and everything like that. So I'm excited to watch those. And we got 25 days coming up. Better get with the program. Christmas is gonna be over before you know it. And then you'll be sad. Some of you will be happy. Some of you will be like, it's over, thank God. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here now, and I am going to go home, and I think I'm gonna try, actually, since I was talking about it, try to watch a little bit of, well, it's pretty late now, but I'm gonna try to watch a little bit of Let It Snow, maybe 15 or 20 minutes before I go to bed. And that is literally how I'm watching everything now. I'm watching it in a couple minutes here and a couple minutes there, instead of just sitting down and actually getting through something. I don't know why I have such a hard time doing that anymore, but yeah, but I'm gonna get off here now, and I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday. Let me know what Christmas movies I should watch in the comment section below. That's what I want to know. I want to know what Christmas movies I should watch, or Christmas cartoons, or whatever, because I want to compile a list together. And yeah, especially if you know one that has to do with a snowstorm or a blizzard, I would be really thankful, mightily thankful. So anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, do not have other plans. Make the most of your day. Life is not a dress rehearsal. Seriously, it's not. And you're exchanging a day of your life for today, so do something with it that will make you happy, or that you'll have fun, or that you'll laugh with your friends and you'll look back on and be like, that was a really great day. Remember when that day we had a great, remember, what is tomorrow, the 30th? Remember November 30th of 2019? That was a good day. And yeah, so do something fun, do something that you look back on and be proud of. And if nobody has told you this today, I love you. Somebody said on my video today, my vlog, they said, some days when you say it, you're the only person that says it to me. And we all need to hear the words, I love you. So I love you. I think we're afraid of those words sometimes, don't you think? And look in the mirror every single day and do your positive affirmations and say, I love you. You are valuable, you are worthy, you are important, you matter. You're a good writer. So you gotta add those things in there. You're a good writer, you're funny, you care about people, you're a good friend. And do your positive affirmations every single day, and most importantly, make sure that you pass it on to somebody else and let them know how important they are to you, how much you care about them, and how much they impact your life. And don't wait till somebody's gone to recognize that they had a really strong impact on your life. Let them know while they're here. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!